So I think that we need consumers to be committed to it so that there's a
More demand.
revenue, because the truth is you're voting every day with your dollars. And
Yeah.
so are you voting for, all of us, like, for example, are voting for slavery with all of our tech stuff, and we just like pretend it's not happening, right? So we are voting every day with our dollars. The one thing we can vote for is no poison in our food. And that's the thing that I feel like we could all be on the same page about. If you're a Democrat, if you're a Republican, if you're a young person, if you're an old person, if you're a mother, if you're single, I think we could all see, I don't want there to be chemicals in my food. I don't want there to be endocrine interrupters in my food, in my water. I think that that's something that we can all align on, but we're so distracted fighting. But so we have to vote with our dollars. We have to pay for these things. But then we have to look at, like, the farm bill. Billions of dollars are spent on all different types of subsidies. And I think we need more carrot and less stick. I think we need to make it so that if we're going to subsidize things, and if it really is an existential threat, if climate change is this existential threat that it's the end of everything, blah, 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 which is what the evidence and the science that we're being presented is saying, then why are we subsidizing corn instead of subsidizing carbon sequestration? So to me, it needs to be more carrot and less stick from the government. And then I think that the consumers need to be committed to it. The consumers need to want to and honestly, it's going to fall on the consumers that can afford it to drive the price to lower for those that can't afford it right now. And so, take one for the team. I literally went out in my restaurant to every person in the restaurant that I thought had enough money to buy a farm and tried to convince them to do a regenerative farm. And I'd say, we could do this. Da, 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 da. And then what I realized is, like, I'm the one I've been waiting for. So I went out and bought the farm and did it. So those of us that can afford to buy Force of Nature meat or Stimple Creek or Sovereignty Ranch, we need to take one for the team to drive the prices down, because as it gets adopted more and more, then that brings the prices in line.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. Well, I completely agree on the consumer, and then obviously from a bills and law standpoint as well. But I'm just curious, you said you still don't eat meat. Is that a why, or is that like a health thing, or?
I never have eaten meat in my whole life, not even in my mom's belly. So I'm struggling with relating to it as food. I'm just.
Gotcha. So, I mean, you literally, it wasn't necessarily a choice to be vegetarian
At dinner, there was an argument last night at dinner because my sister-in-law cooks dinner many nights a week here on the ranch. And then I feel like there's this kind of attitude that I should just get over it. Everybody else has. Like, it used to be almost everybody was vegetarian in my family, and now everybody eats meat except for me. And I'm like, there was literally cucumber and tomatoes and bread were the only things that, like, there was tallow fried this and tallow fried that. And I was like, hey guys, y'all, I'm not there yet. It was like beef broth and bone broth. And so, I'm working on it. I'm 46 years old. I've never eaten meat. It's just like,
Well, it's different. Like, it wasn't, I guess, like, to an extent, being a vegetarian or a vegan wasn't originally a choice. You never ate it. So that was just kind of what you did. And then maybe it kind of to an extent was a choice after that. But anyways, that was just interested. I'm just interested.